Hey guys, let's talk about the best affordable electric bikes on the market right now. Since 2012, I've covered about 191 of these bikes, and I consider anything priced below $1,500 USD to be affordable. Now, I haven't covered every bike that fits in this category, and I do read the comments, so please let me know what you think. Maybe I've missed something, and I can keep track of that and cover it in the future. I will be updating this category ongoing, so keep an eye on this channel and my website, ElectricBikeReview.com, where I categorize everything. When you're there, also check out the forums, because that's a place where real life owners who have the bike longer than just a few days to do a review, that's where they post their videos and pictures and stuff. It's really useful. So with that said, let's jump right into it, and I'll tell you what my top picks are right now. So first up is the Rad City. This is my premium pick. The bike is awesome. It's like completely set up with fenders. It's got puncture-resistant tires, reflective sidewalls, integrated lights, and it comes in step through as well as high step. And there's a slight size difference between those two. So if you're a taller individual or you just want that stiffer frame, you get the high step. Price point is right there at $1,500. The only downside to this bike is the mechanical disc brakes. Now you still get 180 millimeter rotors, and these are a bit easier to adjust than hydraulic, but they require a bit more hand effort. Rad does a great job. They got lots of dealers. They've got an excellent reputation in the US, in Canada, and internationally. You might see a few complaints about this bike online, but I think that's because they just sell so many more of the products. Rad is actually an advertiser on the site, and I want to be transparent about that, but I only invite companies to advertise that I really trust. In fact, my dad and my stepmom both have Rad Rovers, which are their fat tire bikes, and those come in high step and step through as well. They use the same battery, so you can actually kind of swap that between the different models, and the resale value on these tends to be good. For me, it's sort of like the full picture here. You get a good price point, feature-rich product available in a couple different frame types with great customer support, and they have vans now that can kind of deliver and set up the bikes for you. So usually with these more affordable bikes, you buy it online and then it shows up in a huge box. But with Rad, you have a couple more options so that the user experience is better. And yeah, it's one of the best in my opinion. Next up is the best value affordable electric bike. And I'm kind of cheating on this one because I think the price kind of went up. I chose the Electric Bike Company Model Y for this. Now, Electric Bike Company is based in Newport Beach. They sell online, much like Rad, but they don't have the mobile delivery service, and they don't have a headquarters in Europe and Canada. But their product, while costing a little bit more, it's like $16.99 plus $189 shipping, their product does have hydraulic disc brakes. They have a really powerful motor. They've got this cool front basket that the battery actually fits into, so it adds some utility. Or if you get the high step version, they've got sort of a frame mounted battery, and I think you can actually increase the capacity on that one by adding a basket as well. And this company will custom color the frames, the rims, the baskets. They have optional rear racks, tons of good stuff. They also have the puncture resistant reflective tires and integrated lights. These bikes are pretty sweet in my opinion, and the company does an excellent job with customer support. So for me, paying a little bit more for something like this, especially if you're okay with the cruiser look, it's going to last. Like, this bike is going to perform really well. It's going to give you that power. It has a throttle as well as pedal assist. It's an excellent choice. Next up is the affordable option. And this one, it also goes to Rad. They do an excellent job hitting those price points, and they've just introduced a new model called the Rad Mission at $999. So this product is a single speed. It doesn't have 7 gears like the Rad City models and really most of the other Rad bikes. And it's kind of heavy. It was heavier than I expected for a single speed, but it offers pretty good weight capacity, and it's got the same bracket on the front, so you could add a front rack. All of their accessories are interchangeable, including the battery here. So the battery capacity is a little bit lower than most of the other models. That's part of how they're getting the price point and kind of keeping it light and simple. And instead of just doing sort of like a tension fit horizontal dropout for their single speed, they actually have like a sprung chain tensioner, which is really nice. And they've still got the throttle, and they've still got reflective puncture resistant tires. So they're really nailing it there. And they've got two frame types. So they've got like a mixedy sort of mid step and a high step, as well as 6 different colors. That's awesome for a bike that's $1,000. I'll see products on Amazon or in Costco or Walmart, and it's like, hey, $1,000. And it seems like, well, okay, I can see it, I can touch it, but the quality on those tends to be lower. The customer support is almost non-existent in my experience. I've actually reviewed bikes that were sold on Amazon, and by the time I got the bike, opened it, reviewed it, posted it, the bike wasn't available online anymore. And And that was such a bummer, and it never appeared again. So it's like people buy this product and it ends up just being almost like disposable, and that's such a bummer because these bikes can last if you take care of them. So with a company like Rad, where they have this well-supported battery, they have all these great accessories, and they have a good online reputation, for me, this is like the best you can do in terms of price point to get into the electric bike space. Next up is the promoted bike in this category. So on Electric Bike Review, I really try not to flood the site with ads, and I do invite specific companies that I think have good products to promote their bike. So this is like pinned to the top of the affordable category, and I'm mentioning it here, but I also believe in this product. I think it's a good one. Of course, it's from Rad Power Bikes. This is the Rad Runner. Now it comes in a standard version, which is what's being promoted. It's a single speed, much like the Rad Mission. What's unique about this bike is it's kind of like a mini bike, or they call it a utility bike. It's a little bit lower to the ground, smaller wheel size, but still almost like those fat tires. They're 3.3 inches versus 4 inches. That gives you some comfort since it doesn't have a suspension fork, and it allows it to go off-road, maybe through the snow and sand, or just soft terrain like grass a little bit easier. What's different about this compared to something like a Super 73 is it has that longer banana seat option, so you could take a passenger with pegs, but the main like captain seat is on a seat post that goes up and down, so you can get full leg extension and actually have a nice, comfortable ride feel. Awesome. It also has the integrated lights, the puncture-resistant reflective tires, and the support and the network and everything I talked about for Rad before. So for me, it was really neat to see this bike. It's $11.99. It's not too much more than the Rad Mission, but you do save some money compared to some of the Rad City, Rad Rover models, or the Rad Wagon. And it actually came out before the Rad Mission. I was kind of surprised because I thought, oh, finally, Rad's doing like a super affordable bike. And for them to do something so unique and sort of utility oriented, almost like a mini cargo bike, I just thought it's special. Like, it's really cool, and people love this bike. If you're willing to pay a little bit more, you can get the Rad Runner Plus, which does have a suspension fork. It's got some light upgrades and the passenger kit included, as well as a 7-speed drivetrain. For me, that's worth paying the money for, and I've covered that back at the site as well. Okay, guys, last up is the honorable mention, and this one goes to the Electra Townie 7D. That stands for 7-speed derailleur. Electra is owned by Trek, and Trek is one of the big 3 bicycle manufacturers: Trek, Giant, and Specialized. And that's worth noting because these brands have shops all across the United States and some other countries as well. So you can actually go in and you can get hands-on fitting, and you can test ride the bike. Some of the highlights are that this bike comes in 7 different colors, which is pretty cool. It goes all the way through to the chain cover. It's not just the frame. However, it doesn't have fenders. You have to pay extra for those, and then they will not be paint matched. Another pro is that comes in high step as well as step through frame design, so you can kind of have a slightly different frame size, maybe more of a masculine versus feminine style depending on which frame type you go with. The thing is, if you get the step through frame, you end up with a little bit more frame flex. I mean, the battery on this bike is pretty far towards the rear and fairly high. Ideally, you want weight low and center, so that's another trade-off. But the battery is removable, so you can charge it separately from the bike. It does not have a throttle. It's pedal assist only. The brakes on this are mechanical versus hydraulic. You have to use a little bit more hand effort, and they aren't super fancy. They don't have like motor inhibitors built in. And that's because this bike uses a torque sensor instead of a cadence sensor like most of the other ones on this list. That means it's going to be pretty responsive as soon as you start pedaling, but you do need to work a little bit more actively, and that's part of what gives this bike pretty good range, even though it has a relatively smaller battery. The tires are not puncture resistant, they don't have reflective sidewall stripes, and this bike does not come with lights, so you might end up spending more than $1,500 to sort of make it equivalent to some of those direct-to-consumer bikes we talked about earlier. But again, you get to go directly into the shop, you can get kind of fitted there, and then have someone who will help you physically. You don't need to like wait for people to ship stuff back and forth. So in my opinion, this is still a pretty great option. It just depends on what your needs are in terms of accessories. Well, guys, I hope that helped you. The affordable category is one of the most popular in terms of traffic, and I can see why. I mean, you can get a bike sooner if it doesn't cost as much, and you can usually enjoy the bike and maybe have some peace of mind. If it does get stolen, you're not losing like tons and tons of money. That's what goes through my mind, at least. However, there are times where it's like maybe you want to pay a little bit more for like a mountain bike or cargo bike or any number of categories. I've done these lists for like the top 11 categories back at the site, and remember, each one of these reviews has like a 30-minute video and like all the stats and everything, so dig in deeper if you find something you liked on this list, and then click the little compare tool, compare it to some of the other options in this and other categories. My goal is to help you guys find the right bike. I realize it's a lot of money and you want this to last, and that's why I'm trying to help you like narrow it down a little bit, but I haven't covered everything. So again, let me know in the comments. Maybe I'm completely wrong. And if I see people requesting a bike, like I'll work on getting that one covered too. I'll go super in depth and hopefully help you guys out. I love you. We'll see you in the next one. Ride safe.